Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more thought. My name is the Hooded Philosopher, and I am here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, tell us what this chapter's about.
Today's chapter is about battle.
It's the start of a real big fight.
It's the start of a real big fight.
And the start of a lot of work for us. So get ready and strap yourselves in. What happened in the last chapter?
In the last chapter, Draylin returns with the news of someone coming, but he couldn't see them. He scratched at them, but still couldn't see them. They go to leave the tent to confront the invisible guys. And they get into a little fight where the boy gets put in the middle of a group of people so that the way they can fight off all these things. And Ella saves him by chopping the guy's arm off and stabbing him. And
Once everything was safe.
Explosions start.
Yes, an explosion, just boom! Yeah. So it shouldn't be explosions to start. I don't have a mouse.
You don't have a mouse.
I don't have a mouse.
Oh, my Lanta.
You're the mouse. Be prepared. Be prepared. The whole thing?
I don't know. What did you want?
Explosions and start. The S's need to disappear. Oh, that was the E I needed.
We'll delete the
I'll
S's.
do that.
And I'll give you back the E.
And the other E. Wait, I need to delete that. Why did I put it back? Oh my goodness. My mouse is all sorts of messed up. Okay. So an explosion starts the largest battle telomere has seen since the last 200 years. It's the start of a civil war, maybe. That's a better way of saying it. Anyway.
Oh my goodness!
My mouse is just not working properly. This is strange.
Do this. What are we on? There we go.
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, everybody. Here's chapter 29, Wild Forces on the Battlefield.
2 people controlling 1 machine. When they arrived at the bottom of the gondola, Force and Flo walked over to them, greeting them happily. Rokai started. My armies will be arriving at your divining pool. We will come at them from the side as we exit off the bridge. Force turned to a nearby officer and ordered, help his men find their way. Flo saw the gems on Tresca's chest. You finally caved to one of us. I never thought you would. She sighed forlornly as they embraced. We all love you. Rokai always did love you differently. She looked to Rokai. I'm happy you found your Flo. The troops are on their way. We don't have long, Force urged the group along, ushering them through the city streets. They walked through the fortress entrance. A field of people stood at attention when Force came into view. She began a speech, but Rokai pulled Tresca away. I'm afraid I don't know if I can keep you safe during this. Sloane is strong, Rokai worried. Whew, burpids. I can feel your cold pulsing through my veins. You have solidified my will, and even if there were something to happen to me, you have made it possible for me to see the good I have brought to this world. She kissed him. All Sloane has done is put a small wall in the way. Together we will break it down and stop him. Nathaniel walked up behind them. She grabbed his hand. No one will judge you if you kill. History will understand. If it were history's judgment that I was afraid of, your words would be reassuring. But today the judge I fear is the harshest of all, myself, Nathaniel said, opening himself up. Flo and Force were nearby. Nathaniel nodded to Flo, who nodded back. Rokai walked up to him. Sloane sent a message. Deliver to him his son, or we will face the wrath of the divine, he said lamely. There is nothing. With love by our side, our flame will never cease. He was looking to Tresca's eyes. Right now we cannot give him the child, nor will we, Tresca said, staring back. Nathaniel walked toward the army that appeared on the countryside. Rokai walked the other way, back to his troops. Nathaniel was saying something, but the wind took it away. Whatever he was saying struck fear into the other army. Several of the men moved to change sides, but were met with deadly force by their own friends. Tresca's heart sank, a grim aperitif to a meal nobody truly wants. Sure, they want safety and comfort that is derived from the death of another, or some wish for the animalistic and natural desire that comes from the intimacy of the hunt. But losing someone is the thing we remember. All the joy and happiness are trapped in the... All the joy and happiness are trapped with the sand in the hourglass, to be experienced in the moment. Drink time. Alright. As cold overtook her, stealing her for what was to come, Nathaniel walked back to Tresca.
Just need to pause for a second. I'm going to read this.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
As cold overtook her, stealing her for what was to come, Nathaniel walked back to Tresca. Rokai went with force to get our armies on the move. I will be with my husband at the front, she explained. He smiled back with grave confidence. He disappeared before she whispered, "Save them, Nathaniel." The warmth returned briefly. "My love, I must ask you to lean on the cold in you. Hide your feelings under the layers of my distance." Wow. Hide your feelings under the layers of my distance, and when our hands finally reunite, a wave of love will cleanse the battlefield. He slipped off to his position. All was said that needed to be said. The opposing army was moving. She slipped in with her army as they moved, staying with the lead ranks. She couldn't identify the voice, but someone behind her said, "Tresca of love, I speak for my family when I say we are grateful to you for freeing our children from the grasp of Frelik the Vile." Several other nearby soldiers shouted their approval. Nothing else was said, because a small orb appeared in front of them. Tresca saw the runes and reacted by shoving the soldiers away and leaping onto it. Wow, my throat's getting really dry really fast. Woo! And an explosion engulfed her, but all she could feel was the gems on her chest. They were glowing brightly. The explosions didn't move her, but the earth flew out beneath her. She landed on her feet. Some men around her let out a battle cry, running around the crater she stood in. It began to rain. I need to slow down, guys. It began to rain. A bright light came from the other side of the battlefield, where Rokai should be. Then, around her, ice began to form. Tapping into her water liquor, the ice stuck to her like little diamonds, lifting her high above the battlefield and gave her ammunition. Ammunition. Why am I having problems reading today? Ice shot away from her, hitting the enemy. As the battlefield receded away from her, Sloane came out on a great gale, blowing her ice away. "Quit playing with the toys. Tell me, how have you hidden him from me? I am his father." His voice came out strong and angry as his wind seemed to slip around her. She wasn't interested in talking, but it didn't matter. Draylen appeared from high above, landing on Sloane as a large, heavy rock came up to meet him. "How many times are you going to kill me?" Sloane was laughing. "Bodies mean nothing to me." "I'm going to kill you until I am home." Draylen put enough pressure between the rock and his head to remove the illusion. He kicked the body off his rock. "Go help the men," Tresca shouted to Draylen. Their own army was dwindling. She could see her husband now. On the other side, men were melting around him as he slipped through their ranks. A massive ram appeared suddenly. It struck him, and he flew off toward the crevasse. Death was churning all around. A red river began to flow. The battle needed to stop. A strange darkness came into view. It was Rohan, fire that consumed light trailing behind him, and he was looking at her. When they collided, steam billowed and intense fog filled the battlefield. "Submit!" he screamed, strike after strike landing on her icy shell. She remained unmoved. She couldn't see anything. The blows hurt, but he could not move her. "I have given myself to another. You and your wicked magic cannot have me. I have nothing left to give to you, and there is nothing to take." She looked at the dark gauntlet covering his hand. She pitied him. A chilling voice stopped everything. It shouted, "Fear me!" And it sounded like the death displayed in the red river below them. The ground shook. Unsure of how to react, Rohan took off back to bolster his army, using the last of the fog as a cover. Tresca took advantage of the moment and threw venom into the back of his head. His body fell to the ground with a thud. Very wonderful.
Can you read all that?
Can I read all that? Yes, I can read all that.
So then, mine's in order. Except for this here, you can save that to the end, and we can save that just kind of at the end. Because QOTD means question of the day.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
If there's any questions about what's written there, my chicken scratches and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to follow them, too.
Scroll back up.
Would you read me to read it while you do that? I'll read it, and you interrupt me when one of these comes up.
I'm not sure where...
Force said urging.
Where at?
Listen to the story, and if you don't hear it, we'll just ignore it. Okay? And then I'll go back and fix it later. And I'll just cross it off.
You're going to reread the whole thing?
Yes.
While we're recording?
Right now. Okay. When they arrived, let me do this differently. Sorry. I'm working. I promise. How about I start some paragraphs? Or there's got to be a way to do this, but you'll have to take charge. So I'm going to never say never mind. This isn't working. My thoughts fell apart. So you go ahead and continue with what you were doing.
So I'm assuming...
I'm just trying to improve things. Take a chance.
Forced to urge the group. Said urgingly. That's probably where you're saying that.
Mm-hmm.
The troops were on their way. We don't have long. Force said
Click this
urgingly.
So I can change it. Click there so I can change it. Said urging the group.
Urging the group along. Okay, so since we're up here, I can do both of our stuff.
Okay, good,
I was hearing this. We need to talk about like why Rokai did always love you differently.
Delete the "we all love you." I mean, that'll make it make sense. Wait, she doesn't need to say that. That's a redundant kind of nonsense.
Okay, delete it.
Like it should be clear. That's a repetition, right? Because right here she sighed forlornly is saying we all loved you. Like any of us could have.
But my keyboard's not working.
Oh, you're right. Let's get that fixed. Clever. I like it.
She looked to Rokai. I'm happy you found your flow. I was thinking something to the effect of them smiling to each other right here. She looked to Rokai. Smiling. Something to that effect. Because this is a conversation they've had multiple times. She can't just say it and them not have an emotion being said here. She looked smiling at Rokai. I'm happy you found your flow. And he smiled back at the end. Or something.
The problem is, I feel like he's in this conversation with Force while she's in this conversation with Flo. Like, they're both kind of doing this. You see? So if he looked back, I mean, he's engaged with Force, talking about the soldier stuff. You see?
So she's kind of saying this under her breath?
Kind of like at him, smiling. She looked at Rokai, smiling. That's what I don't know. She looked at Rokai, smiling. I put smiling in the wrong place, and you can actually do it yourself. Yeah, the mouse is super powerful. She looked at Rokai, smiling. I'm happy you found your flow.
Okay.
I'm happy he found his flow.
That might be better.
Much better, yes, because she's
Much
talking
better.
to Tresca, not Rokai.
Yeah.
You figured it out. Fix it.
Okay. And then here. So she's sitting here. He's worried about her, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes, I can feel your cold pulsing through my veins. She should be doing something with this, where she's like holding the gems. To remind him, you've already given me your protection. That's what she's doing by touching it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Her left hand was feeling the gems on her chest. You have solidified my will. See that it
yeah, that's much better.
It gives it that
for sure.
Yeah, definite punch up there. And then my other two notes don't come until later. So
if you read it out loud, that's fine.
The next thing that
you wrote is
the next thing I wrote is further down.
No, mine. What do you
the next thing you wrote was,
which isn't the question of the day.
Not the question of the day? Okay. Break up sand in the hourglass.
Yes, there's something about that needs to be broken up.
Okay.
Is that before or after yours is the question. But we can
before.
go there and check if we need.
Before.
Okay.
Because I know where my other... No. I scrolled too far down.
There you go. Read the last sentence. Because it's big. Mm-hmm. That's what needs to be broken up, I think. Lots of...
Nathaniel...
commas.
Yeah. Nathaniel walked toward the army that appeared on the countryside. Rokai walked the other way, back to his troops. Nathaniel was saying something, but the wind took it away. Whatever he was saying struck fear into the other army. Several of the men moved to change sides, but were met with deadly force by their own friends. Tresca's heart sank, a grim aperitif to a meal nobody truly wants. Period.
Yeah, I also want to do that.
I didn't mind the sure.
I don't think it needs to be there. Read it though. I want to hear it without it. Is I guess what I need to say.
To a meal that nobody truly wants. They want safety and comfort that is derived from the death of another, or some wish for the animalistic and natural desire that comes from the intimacy of the hunt. Dip-a-doo.
I think the "and" can go away. The animalistic natural desire.
Okay, get rid of this comma here.
Oop.
I'll get rid of the "and." Or some wish for the animalistic natural desire that comes from the intimacy of the hunt. But losing someone is the thing we remember. All the joy and happiness are trapped with the sand in the hourglass, to be experienced in the moment.
Period.
Put a regular A there. And then put an A here. Oh, that's not what I intended. Are trapped with the sand in the hourglass to be experienced in the moment.
Only in the moment.
To be experienced only in the moment, yeah.
Okay, what was next on the list?
Mine and yours, the next ones we have. What's her army? Who's her army?
The ones she's in. Her side is, I guess, more what I'm saying.
Okay.
Her side of her army, so when she took the bomb, and saved a bunch of people that way, they rushed past her. So there is this messy line of interconnected bad guy, good guy fighting each other, right?
Uh-huh.
The soldiers trying to kill each other pointlessly.
Okay.
She's on their side, slipped in with her army. You see what I mean? That's actually what I was changing too. I have a different...
staying with the lead ranks, which is in that same sense.
Yes, that's the way I wanted to say it. Staying within the lead ranks. The opposing army was moving. Staying within the lead ranks, I just delete this entire part from she slipped in with the army as they moved. That's... Staying with the lead ranks is slipping in with the army as they moved.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I felt like it was... was it her book club specifically?
No, her book club was in the rebellion.
Yeah.
They're in that army. Mm-hmm. Helping them understand the land that they're in.
Right. So that's what I was thinking was happening here.
And they're
mine
going
is further.
activating the book clubs.
Why did it rain?
Because Rokai was coming, and she was extremely cold, and he was extremely hot. It was changing the atmosphere.
Rokai or Rohan?
Rokai. Rohan's fire was different. It absorbs light. It doesn't make any sense. It's really weird. I don't know how to say it otherwise.
Okay.
But Rokai is hot. He's very, very hot because the further he gets away, the hotter he gets.
Well, and it kind of makes sense, too, that there's all this magic going on. There's going to be something that affects the weather.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's trying to do. It affected the weather at the extreme temperature difference as they separated. If they aren't near each other, they could cause weather patterns to form. And it was valuable to her because she needed the rain. Yeah. Should I be more expressed about that, or is it just fine saying it the way it is? And
no, because
if somebody's listening here, it might be interesting.
In that same line, a bright light came from the other side of the battlefield where Rokai should be.
And that's what I went to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's showing off. That's why it's happening.
So
and he's just glowing like the sun. Just fusion reaction in the middle of the battlefield.
Your other note was here.
People. Yeah, said laughing.
Oh. He spat blood. Bodies mean nothing to me. Okay, and then I think
actually, you know what? I think I should delete that because he's laughing, saying, "How many times are you going to kill me?" And then Draylen speaks next.
Yeah,
and it just makes a bit more sense that way.
Yeah.
Draylen responds to that.
Okay, so our next thing is in the same one. Yours was strike after strike, landing on her icy shell. I'm assuming you were thinking shield there on her icy shield.
I heard you say that before we recorded. You didn't do it when you recorded, and I thought you might want to say something there. Is shield better?
Shell makes me feel of like an all-encompassing, all around her body, everywhere.
It's like packed ice.
Yeah. Whereas shield means just in the front, I feel like.
And you think that's she could gather the ice right there is the idea?
I like it all around her. The shell.
Okay. Okay.
The all-encompassing.
Okay. Because either way, it's kind of dope.
I was curious as to Rohan's heartstring pull.
Where?
No, what would Rohan pull as a heartstring?
Draylen.
Love. Sad? Sad. Okay. Because he's sitting here saying submit. And I was curious as to if some of that was in play. But that it wasn't...
Not anger or anything, no.
No, it's sadness.
No, and he couldn't touch her. He couldn't do anything to her. Not while Rokai is away. Rokai would have to be near for her to be damaged in any way.
No, it was just more of a curiosity than a fix. So... No, this one was... I say this all the time.
I'm trying to go with poetic with Tresca. Very, very... kind of like magical poeticism. Man, do I sound stupid.
Was Rohan, how many times can I say this name today? Rohan. Was he in love with Tresca as well?
Yeah, but she would never even listen to him. They all were.
She is of love, so.
Yeah, like everyone could, but those four in particular had the time and chance to get to know her. Rohan desired her every way too. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he would be willing to change her mind if he could. He just never could get to her.
Do me a favor, real quick. Put a period and capitalize that U. As while I was reading it, I kept slipping up there. because of that. I've given myself to another. You and your wicked magic cannot have me. I have nothing left to give you, and there is nothing to take.
All right.
Yeah.
So the question of the day is...
what do you judge yourself for the most?
Like most often, or the most amount, whatever you want to believe most means.
Mm-hmm.
Not here to specify. I'm here to be very ambiguous on my wordage.
So that way everybody can answer the question their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you judge yourself on the most?
My writing is... I'm self-aware of what I'm doing here, and it feels funky.
You're self-aware?
Yeah, I'm like aware I'm of what I'm writing. I'm not reading it new here. This came from me.
Yes.
And there's nuance in there that could be expressed. I just don't know. It's foggy. What was I talking about? What I judge myself the most.
Yeah, what you judge yourself the most.
I can't figure it out. I do call myself stupid a lot. I probably judge myself for not knowing. Not getting it right away.
Oh, nobody knows anything about everything.
Yeah, that's true. But that's where I judge myself the most.
Yeah.
What about you?
Never doing enough.
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot. And you are a hard worker. You do more than enough. And you still say, I don't do enough. So...
But I don't.
Comment below if you wish to join us in this and tell us what you judge yourself the most over. And you know what? I'll forgive you. Even if it's murder, I'll forgive you. All right.
Well, while you do the recap.
What?
While you do the recap.
Oh, yeah.
The moment. I want to talk about this moment of where I feel like I don't do enough. I had finished a sculpture. And I went to go take it to the person I wanted to give it to. Granted, I never personally talked to this person that I was going to do it. And they run a card shop. We went to go take it to them yesterday and found out they're moving. And they don't have a new place yet. And I didn't know this. They had moved for a couple of weeks. And I hadn't seen them. And if I had gotten this thing done a month or two ago, I would have been able to give it to them. And I definitely was judging myself in that way a lot yesterday. And it sucked. Because I was all excited. I was really nervous about what they were going to think. Because they didn't even know what I was doing. And come to find out, I couldn't even give it to them yet. Because they were no longer there. And I have no way to contact them yet. Until they get their new shop up and running. And Hood had stalled on what he was writing.
I was just thinking.
But it kind of broke my heart a little bit. And I felt like if I had just gotten it done earlier, I would have been able to give it to them. Not that I won't be able to give it to them. I can figure out a way to... Now that I'm thinking with a clear head and not sad face like I was yesterday. They're planning on opening a new shop. They just don't know where yet. And I can always contact them through their social media and say, hey, I have something for you and I want to give it to you. If I need to. We shouldn't judge ourselves so harshly.
We really don't need to, do we?
No, we do not.
Well, with that, we will close out. Say bye. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.